Glory to Jesus Christ. Today is Tuesday, March 10th, the 16th day of the fast. And crazy to think that on March 10th here in Kansas, we'll be into the mid 80s. So it's unseasonably warm right now. But we continue now reading from the Diary of a Russian Priest by Father Alexander Elchananov. So many times in his diary, he asks questions. And I think that as we hear these questions that he asks, that most of us would be able to say, yes, I've thought the same thing. I've thought the same question, whether it be about observing other people or looking into myself as well. And I think as we're doing this exercise during the fast, I think it's important that we make sure that we're looking into ourselves just the same as we would hear the gospel during a liturgy and think to ourselves, boy, I hope somebody else is hearing that. But most importantly is that we hear it. And how is this affecting us in some way? And so one of the questions that Father Alexander asks today, and again, something very fitting to think about during the fast itself, he says, how is it that men have failed to notice that practically nothing has ever been achieved through hostility and anger, while meekness and gentleness always achieve everything? I mean, of course, achievements in the moral and spiritual realm, but I am convinced that this is also a more reliable way in the realm of ordinary life. And so it's an easy thing I think we can think of as we would ask ourselves, why is somebody so angry? And that's not going to change anything. We also then look into ourselves and say, why am I angry? And will this be productive in being angry? Thinking about being Christ-like, that those words, meekness and gentleness, would come as well. But we have to walk a fine line because there are things that we ourselves do wrong or somebody else does wrong that need corrected. And so we have to walk that fine line of being able to correct in a spirit of meekness and gentleness and not in anger and hostility. But we still need to correct. And again, most often it would be ourselves who we need to correct. So this is a beautiful theme to think of throughout the fast, that we're trying to go away from anger and being closer to a spirit of peace. And the reason I use that word peace is that one of the texts from the Lenten Triodion on this Tuesday of the third week of the fast brings this up exactly. It says, entering as initiates into the dazzling grace of the fast, let us shine as lightning with the virtues, and by our peaceful faces and our peaceful way of life, let us display the peace that is within our souls. And I think that making it very simple, that having a spirit of peace, looking peaceful, would be that we indeed are following Christ, who has accomplished everything. That there should be a peace in knowing that he indeed has accomplished everything by going to the cross for us, and that a spirit of peace would be the opposite of the spirit of anger and hostility. I want to read a few words today. This is an article that was on the OCA website by Father Lawrence Farley about anger. And just a few little observations that he has on a practical level that I think we can all glean from. So he writes, anger is not a happy sin. Let's be honest. Some sins feel good while we are indulging in them. When we are indulging in the sin of gluttony, for example, and eating an entire tub of Haagen-Dazs, it feels great. When later on our conscience smites us, or when we step on the bathroom scales the next day and it smites us, it doesn't feel so great. But while we are indulging in this sin, it feels good. The sin of anger is not like this. After we have given in to road rage and have screamed ourselves hoarse, we never turn to the person sitting in the car beside us and say, that felt great. I feel so much happier now. Instead, the sin of anger tears little pieces off our soul and leaves us in tatters. Anger is not a happy sin. I think that's a great way to think of it. And again, on a very practical way, because all of us have experienced road rage in some way, and it doesn't make us feel good. And then he says another thing very practical that we can leave with today as we think about trying to go away from anger and being more peaceful. The apostles found as they journeyed through Samaria to Jerusalem that the Samaritans were hard to bear. As we journey to the kingdom, we also find plenty of people hard to bear, and we are tempted by the sin of anger. It will make for a happier journey if we leave such wrath alone and walk with the Lord in peace. Glory to Jesus Christ.